Every year, some NBA players return to Europe after failing to establish themselves in the league. Whether it's due to skill, adaptability, or circumstances, their NBA dreams often end prematurely. For instance, EuroLeague MVPs like Miloš Teodosic and Sasha Vezenkov, once highly touted, couldn't sustain their hype. Vezenkov, hyped as Sacramento's secret weapon, and compared to Klay Thompson with stats reminiscent of Victor Wembanyama, ended up averaging just 5 points per game. He later demanded a trade or release, highlighting how challenging the transition to the NBA can be. However, one player who didn't fail in the NBA but left under unusual circumstances is Nikola Mirotic. Unlike many, Mirotic was in his prime with lucrative NBA offers but chose to return to Europe for less money. Since his departure, NBA general managers consistently name him among the best international players not in the league, topped only by Victor Wembanyama. At 30, Mirotic is still a top target for NBA teams, a position most European players would envy. So why did he leave so suddenly? Mirotic initially cited personal reasons, but years later, he revealed the real story. To understand, we must revisit his basketball journey. Born in Montenegro, where soccer reigns supreme, Mirotic was steered toward basketball by his parents due to his exceptional height. Remarkably, he signed a professional contract just a year after picking up a basketball at age 13. Mirotic joined Real Madrid's first team in 2011, where he won the EuroLeague Rising Star Award, akin to the NBA's Rookie of the Year. His talent caught the Houston Rockets' attention, though his draft rights were traded to the Chicago Bulls. Mirotic debuted in the NBA in 2014 and immediately made an impact. A modern stretch four at 6 feet 10 inches, he dropped 27 points against the Grizzlies, going a perfect 6-4-6 from deep. He even finished second in Rookie of the Year voting behind Andrew Wiggins in 2015, earning multiple first-place votes, an often overlooked achievement. With stars like Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, and Pau Gasol eventually leaving the Bulls, Mirotic was poised to take on a bigger role. However, an infamous incident derailed his career trajectory. During a preseason practice, he and teammate Bobby Portis got into an altercation over a starting spot.
To get a guy like this on deadline day, there were 4 or 5 teams interested in him. Already the number 1 team in the East got better.
Reports indicate Mirotic lunged at Portis twice before Portis retaliated, delivering a punch that caused a concussion and multiple facial fractures. Mirotic was hospitalized and missed 23 games, a third of the season.
What am I doing at the airport? Why am I not back with my family? The NBA? Don't do it, Nico. If you go to Utah, you will sign. So I left the airport and went back to the hotel.
Mirotic gave Chicago an ultimatum: choose him or Bobby Portis, but not both.
My role was always the same. I was a player who was open to take shots, who made a pick and pop. I was expected to score 10 points, take a couple rebounds, that's it. I felt like time was passing and I had still not played the best basketball of my life, so it was time to go back and do something bigger in Europe.
However, the Bulls sided with Portis, picking up his contract the same day. Similar to the Draymond Green-Jordan Poole situation, they kept the puncher and let the other walk. Mirotic, though, thrived after leaving Chicago. Joining the Pelicans, he averaged 16 points while shooting 43% from deep, becoming a valuable player. 2 years later, the Bucks acquired him in their push for a title. At the time, Mirotic's performance was so impressive that the ESPN coverage of the trade was nothing short of enthusiastic. Despite struggling with injuries and experiencing a dip in his stats, Nikola Mirotic was highly sought after in free agency. While vacationing in Greece, his agent called with an enticing offer, a 3-year, $50 million contract from the Utah Jazz to join Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. The deal was comparable to the salaries of players like Klay Thompson, Dennis Schroeder, and Goran Dragic at the time. However, Mirotic made a shocking decision that changed his career trajectory. At the airport in Greece, ready to finalize the move, Mirotic had a moment of clarity.
Todo el mundo, hasta de mi propia familia. Estuve mucho tiempo fuera.
What am I doing? Why am I not with my family? He recalled. He turned around.
When I was in the NBA, I felt far away from my family and I stopped enjoying basketball. I wished to spend more time with my children, in the church. I had a kind of personal crisis. So my family was my first priority. I discussed a lot with my wife. It was the first time I put my family over my career.
Returned to his hotel, and ultimately rejected the Jazz's lucrative offer. At just 27 years old, Mirotic signed with FC Barcelona, becoming the highest-paid player in Europe, though his salary was still less than what Utah had offered. When asked why he left the NBA, Mirotic initially stated that the league was holding him back. "My role was always the same: take open shots, pick and pop, score 10 points, grab a couple of rebounds, that's it. Time was passing, and I hadn't played the best basketball of my life." However, the truth behind his decision emerged years later. In Barcelona, Mirotic quickly made his mark, averaging 19 points and 7 rebounds in his first season and nearly securing MVP